the Emancipation Proclamation of Shem and Japheth by the Hamites. I want to say a word to the black man. Now, he's a Hamite. He's the son of Ham, of the three sons of Noah in the Bible. Shem, father of the Jews. Ham, father of the dark-skinned, kinky-haired people. Japheth, father of the Gentile or white people. But hey, black man, can I have a word with you? I want to talk to you for just a moment. And black politicians, can I have a word with you? Black man in prison, black man on his way to prison, black man not being able to find his way. Can I have a word with you? Black woman, can I have a word with you? Black college professor, black college students, black man in general. Now you're Hamites. That's who your father is, Ham. But can I have a word with you? I'm James David Manning. I'm the Lord's servant. I'm a pastor of a wonderful, loving, powerful church of the Lord Jesus Christ in Harlem, New York City. Will you let me have a word with you today? And that word is this. Can you clearly, unmitigatingly see how Donald John Trump, now God has named him Tribulation Trump, has played white Christians and conservatives? Can you see how he has pulled their chain? Can you see how and what he has done to them, knowing these Christians, these white conservatives, Southern Baptist, evangelical, Franklin Grahams, and the like, knowing that Donald John Trump had and has a questionable and sleazy racist background? Can you see what he has done to them? Can you see how he has duped them? Can you, black man? Can you clearly see it? And black man, now you're Hamites. Do you believe for one hot second that Donald John Trump gives two damns about his supporters with those MAGA hats on, wearing those red caps and carrying Trump signs? Do you believe that Trump cares anything at all about them, or would ever want to sit down to a fried fish and cornbread dinner with them in Mississippi? Do you believe that, black man? What do you think? And do you also believe that these so-called Southern Baptist Christian conservatives, evangelicals, Franklin Grahams, Robert Jeffress, and the like, and all their following, that they're just too willing? They know that Trump doesn't give two damns about them, would never want to sit down at dinner with them. But they're too willing to look the other way because there's something that they want from him. They believe that his unrighteousness, his professional skills as a con man, his distaste for people other than himself can get them what they want. Do you believe that, black man? Hey, black man, hey. Do you know that being black, you can see and feel Trump is a hardcore racist? You know, and I suppose you have to be black. Now you're a Hamite, black man. Because if you're not, you might not be able to see it. You might not be able to feel it, but there's something about the experience that allows you to see through something that maybe the Jew or the Gentile can't see. And just because Trump likes black women like Omarosa and probably 100 others that he has slept with, doesn't mean he likes black people at all. Black man, are you still there? Can I just take you a little bit further? And from your perspective as a black man living in America, or living in Africa, or living in China, or living in Japan, black man, Do you know and believe in your heart? Now, whether it's true or not, you probably don't have the medical degree or some sort of social science degree to document what you're saying, but do you believe in your heart as just as a human being encountering other human beings? Do you believe and know in your heart that Donald John Trump, now God's called him Tribulation Trump, is mentally unfit, that he's a pathological liar, really a New York street hustler, a world-renowned con man? Black man, do you believe that about Trump? Do you believe it? Can you see it? And can you see it and understand that perhaps others might not be able to see it, that they don't have the eyes to see or the ears to hear? Black man, can I go one further? And I promise not to inflict myself upon you too much further. But black man, black woman, now you're a Hamite, black politician. Now you're a pinch nose, Hamite. You will have never gotten to your position. Black athlete, black rapper, black college student, black professional. Do you believe that his followers, these Christians, Southern Baptists, these evangelicals, these Franklin Grahams, these Robert Jeffers, these conservatives, these Republicans, do you believe that his followers and the length and breadth pretty much of the Republican Party know what you know? We're going back to our last belief or question about his pathological lying, his New York street hustling, his renowned con man ability, and he's good at it. Do you believe that? That he's very, very, very good at all these things. He is no slouch when it comes to these, if you will, despicable characteristics of any human being. Black man, do you believe? Do you believe? Do you believe, black man? And you're a Hamite. I need to remind you of that. And I'll explain more about what Hamite is, but Ham is the father of the dark-skinned, kinky-haired people. Shem is the father of the Jewish people, and Japheth is the father of the Gentile, the white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed people. But black man, do you believe that the attack on the temple of democracy, that is the house, the constitutional building, back on the 6th of January, year 2021, was organized and inspired by Trump? And that the rioters who went there that day felt absolutely invincible. They all felt like Spider-Man. Do you see them climbing the wall like Spider-Man? Do you see these white boys, these white men climbing the wall? Do you believe that they did all of that because they were inspired? Hey, black man, hey! Do you believe that they were inspired by Donald John Trump, the so-called president of the United States of America, attempted to overthrow the documented government as we understood it to be, and insert and create a coup event right here in mainstream, modern-day, 21st century America? Black man, do you believe that? Do you believe that? Hey, black man, I want to ask you this. Are the white Christians, the Southern Baptists, evangelicals, the Franklin Grahams, the Robert Jeffers, and all that crowd, those MAGA hat wearers, do you believe that are they better off now as a result of giving their undying support and faithfulness to Donald John Trump? Are they better off now? Are they better people? Are their coffers filled with gold? Are their children better children? Have the school shootings of young white boys stopped? Are they richer now? Are their churches better places where God, Jesus would want to come? Are they better off? And is their future much brighter having given their lives and their support to one Donald John Trump? Are these white people better off now that worship him, march with him, protest with him? Many of them laid down their reputations, laid down the Bible for Trump. Are they better off now, Mr. Black Man? Dear black man, can I talk to you? Do you believe that they are? Well, let me ask you a couple more questions, and I'm going to turn you loose. Do you believe and do you know that Donald John Trump made Wall Street the hottest financial bank robbery of poor people? There's one other person that did a little bit better job than him, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But you see how the rich got richer and poor white Southerners barefoot in Mississippi, Arkansas, down in Texas, Louisiana, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, West Virginia, barefoot as turtles, as cooters, and yet Wall Street, private jets, $300 bottles of champagne. The rich got richer under Trump, while the Trump supporter got poorer. Are you aware of that? And do they have a better future now as a result of having listened or supported Trump? One other thing. He made Wall Street richer. We know that he did. We know that. But do you believe that Trump, Donald John Trump, now God's called him Tribulation Trump. That's what God's called him. You Facebook people, you algorithm people, you whoever you are. That's what God said. If you got an argument with whether or not to call him Tribulation Trump, don't blame me, blame God. But do you believe that Trump is, in the sense of what has been constitutional America as a republic over the years, do you believe that Trump is what we might refer to as a patriot, as a red-blooded, flag-waving, American pie-loving person that loves America and its democracy and would defend it at all costs, even with their lives and the lives of their children? Do you believe Trump would send his children off to war to defend America against any kind of aggression coming against it? Do you believe he's a patriot? Or do you believe Trump gives two damns about the Constitution? Or, a better question, a little bit deeper for another class of people. Do you believe Trump has the capacity? Trump has the heart capacity or the mental capacity to ever be a patriot or to give two damns about the Constitution, or that would ever put his own life on the line to defend America and its Constitution and our freedom of speech? Do you believe that Trump would ever put his life or the life of his children on the line to defend America? Do you believe that? Do you believe that? You believe he will? I think you know the answer. I think we all know the answer. Yeah, we do. We know that answer. I'm glad that you were able to hear these questions. But I want to take you one step further. I said to you, I'm the Lord's servant, and I have been serving him, and he sent me to be a servant to you, black man, Hamite, my brother. He has sent me here, put me here in Harlem to talk to you, try to talk some sense into you, try to make some sense out of your condition and who you are and where you've been. I just asked you some questions about the Trump supporter. I asked you some questions about their beliefs, their activities. And I'm sure you had a quick and ready answer. You didn't have to go pray about it and try to discover, read some book to get, you know in your heart every answer, every question I ask you, you know the answer to them. But I want to ask you some similar questions about Obama. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Black man. Hey, black politician. Hey, black preacher. Hey, black man in prison, if you can hear me. If you can hear me, in prison. I want to ask you some questions about Obama. I want to ask you. But before I go there, I need to let you know that I don't hate you. I never have. And I don't know how. I don't know how to hate you. But I want to ask you, do you believe, black man, do you believe that that for one hot second, that Barack Hussein, the long-legged Mac Daddy Obama, gives two damns about you? Do you? do you believe? Hey, black man! Hey. Do you believe, hey, black preacher? Hey, black missionary? Hey, black church mother? Hey, black choir member? Hey, black deacon. Hey, black prisoner. Hey, black college student. Hey. Do you believe Obama gives two damns about you? Knowing that his background was questionable and ran only on racism, only on racism. That's what he ran on. Black man, can you handle this? Can you handle it? Can you deal with it? Hey, black man, do you believe that Obama ever intended to help you when he became president? Oh, now, you know, it's very interesting how excited you were a few moments ago when I was expounding the truth, but I'm still the Lord's servant. I'm still God's servant. So I want to ask you, black man, do you know that being white, and if I were to ask these questions of the Trump supporter, the MAGA, were I to ask him, do you know that Trump doesn't care anything about white people, but Obama don't care anything about black people? Would you be able to deal with that? Would you be able to honestly deal with it? And did you also know and believe that Obama was really never fit to be the president, not of black America, not from a biblical perspective, not from a righteous perspective, that he was never mentally, psychologically fit to be the leader of black people. He never was. He came out of nowhere, supported by white people. A couple other questions. And I'm asking this of the black man because now that you were able to see them of Trump, are you willing to get the log out of your eye so the black man can see about another black man? Now you were willing to agree with me wholeheartedly, cast your life on the fact that what I was saying about Trump and white people was stomped down true, nothing but the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. But you know, the white man can't see that, like what you saw about Trump. Black man, hey, black man. You know, the white Christian conservative, Franklin Graham, the Robert Jefferson, all that crowd, the Republican Party, they can't see what you see about Trump. They can't see it. But now, what about yourself? Can you see that you are in a similar situation, and if not a worse similar situation, black man, with Obama? But maybe you can't see that, and maybe that's not pleasing to you. But do you believe that the followers and the Democrats, the liberals, the Black Lives Matter know that Obama don't give two damns about them and never will? Never can. I want to say this, that, you know, I stated at the early days of the campaigning of Obama that the young black men will feel invincible. They will feel that they are protected and coded by blackness, that the black presidency would bring them a sense of invincibility, and that they would be coated with something that even bullets could not penetrate. Black men, because they were young and inexperienced. And so Trayvon Martin lost his life thinking he was invincible. Oh, I know you say it was George Zimmerman's racism, but it wasn't that at all. Michael Brown lost his life, and a ton of others lost their lives. The same way, hey, black man, hey, did you see those white men climbing the walls of the Capitol building? Did you see them storming? Did you see them running up against the police? Did you see them? They thought they were invincible. Did you see them carrying their flags? Did you see them? They thought they were invincible. The same way Trayvon Martin thought he was invincible. The same way Michael Brown thought he was invincible. And the same way many other black youth that died in the streets during the Obama years because they thought they were invincible. Yes. You know, I said a few moments ago, whether barefoot Mississippi white man, Arkansas, Louisiana, Southerner, even Indiana, up in Montana, whether he's better off now. Is there more gold in his coffers? Is he living in a better house? Is his children better? Are they safer in their schools? Is he doing better now? And the answer is no. Trump has not done anything to move that needle in a direction of positivity. And the answer, everybody knows that. Everybody knows it. But let me ask you, black man, are you better off? Now, we have to make a demarcation here because we have a segment. We've always had that. It's from plantation days of the house Negroes and what I refer to now as the pinch-nose Negroes. Now, he's not doing better, the mayor of Houston or the mayor of Chicago or San Francisco or New York or Baltimore or Washington, D.C. or Richmond, Virginia. He's not doing better, but at least he's escaped the homeless shelters. And he has the opportunity to get patted on the head by Jewish bankers and wealthy Jeff Bezos. They pat him on the head and give him a whole lot of money, and then when he turns around, they take it right back from him and don't let him spend it. Take 50% of it in taxes, and then they take the rest of it in other means, like Jeff Bezos did with Van Jones. He gave Van Jones $100 million. Van Jones had to pay 50% of that in taxes. It only comes up with $50 million. And Jeff Bezos, by giving $100 million, don't have to pay a cent in taxes on the billions that he would have had to pay had he not patted Van Jones on his bald head and his thick lips, patted him on his bald head and gave him $100 million and then became taxes-free Jeff Bezos. And then Van Jones is now stuck with paying 50% of that in taxes, and nothing can he do with the rest of it. And he better not spend it on anything meaningful that might uplift black people. Otherwise, Jeff Bezos will come and put him on a spaceship going to the moon and never return. Yes, yes, yes. And you know that. You're not better off, black man. Gave your life for this president, this black man, so-called black president. But I said a moment ago, there was somebody that made Wall Street richer than Donald Trump, and it was Obama. Under Obama, the stock market went off the chain. People getting rich because Obama was a pacifier, and poor people stopped demanding that they be able to demonstrate a better sense of equality of home ownership and being able to own a better sense of businesses and raise their children, have progeny and stop going to prisons. On Obama, they gave all that up so that the white man could come in and take Harlem. Come walk right in here and take it without firing a shot. All this wealth, billions and billions of dollars on every block, on every street, on every avenue. Malcolm X Boulevard is worth billions of dollars in home property. Frederick Douglass Boulevard is worth billions and billions of dollars in property. The same thing with Adam Clayton Powell. And Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, called 125th Street in Harlem, is worth billions and billions, if not trillions of dollars in economic ability. And the white man walked in under Obama and took it all without firing a shot. But all the black man wanted was say, we got our first black president. Obama's our first black president. While the white man came to Harlem and took billions of dollars in property, economic futures, and took it and walked away. And the black man, he's just happy to have a black president. And living in, going to a shelter, black woman taking her children to the shelters, saying, we got a black president, and sleeping her babies next to other little nasty babies in shelters, talking about we got our first black president, and her husband don't know which way is up. It's the truth. It's the truth. But I have just a few more questions. I don't suppose that you would mind, since you've come with me this far, maybe you'll come with me a little bit further. I have a question about this, about Obama. We've been able to solidify Donald Trump, and you were in good agreement. But, you know, if Obama was a real man and a real black man, would Wall Street and the media have allowed him to become president? Do you think the media or Wall Street would let me be president? And some of y'all know me well enough to know. Do you think they'd ever let me get anywhere near holding public office? And I live among black people. I got a prison record. I got an ID. I got a prison ID. I'm an ex-convict. I'm a typical black man. I'm an ex-convict. I'm a card-carrying ex-convict, Harlem resident for 40 years. Do you think they let me? You think the media? You think Wall Street let me be your president? You think that? I'm sure you got better sense to know they would never let that happen. But he never told you the truth, Obama, when he was campaigning. He never told you that. Anything that was truthful, he just said, hope and change. This is a little bit distasteful. I'm not going to go all the way with this, but it's a tad distasteful. And some of my friends from North Carolina were well recognized, and maybe from some of the other places as well. Hope and change. I kept seeing that, hope and change, while he's campaigning all over everywhere. Hope and change. Down in North Carolina, they had a saying. They said, hope in one hand and dung in the other, and see which one will be successful first. Anyway, three other questions, and then I'm going to finally turn you loose. Do you think Obama is a Christian? Oh, hey, black preacher. Hey, black missionary worker. Hey, black choir member. Hey, Pentecostal tongue talking, the day of Pentecost, talking in tongue, halabashanda, Christian. Do you think Obama's a Christian? Or do you think he's a Muslim? What do you think? Do you think he was born in Kenya? Or that he was born in America? Is there anything that any of you, black men, is there anything that you can do, that you can point to, that demonstrates that your life is better now because of Obama? I don't believe Obama is a real stomp down man. You know what I'm talking about. And he certainly ain't no black man. The Bible is clear. Now, you can argue what the Ku Klux Klan says about 1 ounce of black blood. You can follow the dictates of the Klan. I choose not to follow their dictates about what makes a black man 1 ounce of blood. I'm not going down that road. But if you want to go down that road, yes. But the Bible says that if your mama's white, you're white. Obama got a white mama. Obama got a white mama. That makes him white. But not only that, but, and this is going to take a little bit of prayer for you to really appreciate it, but I'm going to say it anyway. I've never heard of any man run for political office who never had a woman, after he became famous and his name was known, that some woman didn't stand up and accuse him of trying to get her in bed. And unfortunately, pardon me, that's just how men are. I mean, come on, even the late, great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was notorious for saying that because of his position and his short life, he needed to taste all the white women. And it was something said of that nature. And allegedly has been, I don't mean to bring disparity, I'm just trying to tell you, even some of the best black men have had women accuse them of something. Some woman, if you're a man and you've been living in the world with women, you're going to try to get one in bed who's going to renege. And when you become something, they're going to tell it. I mean, even sleepy Joe Biden had several women said that Joe Biden grabbed her in the hallway of the Senate, put his knees between her legs and grabbed her. Even old sleepy Joe Biden. Not that Joe Biden don't look like he got enough strength to do nothing, but women came out against him. But then no woman has ever came out and said that Obama tried to get him in bed. Ain't that nothing? I think that ought to disqualify you as a black man. That alone ought to disqualify you, that no woman has ever accused you. Because it means that maybe you've never gone down the road of a woman. Now, he has been accused. But there was a flaming, blatant homosexual named Larry Sinclair that said he and Obama had a steamy love affair. First, in the backseat of a limo, and then at the Holiday Inn in Chicago. That's what I was told, and that's what Larry Sinclair testified to during the Obama campaign years. Finally, Julian Bond, the late Julian Bond, leader of the NAACP at the time of Obama running to be president. Black man, are you still there? Are you still there? Hey, white man, are you still there? That Julian Bond said that that he was not going to give his weight as a president of the NAACP, and a world-renowned Georgia politician, Georgia senator, and just well-respected as a Hamite black man, black politician, said he was not going to give his support to Obama in the early days of Obama's campaign. And the reason why, and Julian Bond, who looks white himself, said because Obama's not black, he's got a white mama. And that Obama has done nothing in the years that he lived that demonstrated that he desires one vote from any person black. He's never done anything. A community organized in Chicago, what was that all about? I mean, churches over there who only got 2 or 3 members have done more to organize Chicago than Obama did. Heck, you got Louis Farrakhan out there in Chicago. That don't mean a thing that he's walking around the streets of Chicago with a clipboard and having lunch of spinach and carrots while everybody else is eating hamburgers and pork and beans. Julian Bond said that. He said that, no, this don't make Obama if we're going to have a black president, we got to get a man that's black. However, I heard that Wall Street came to see the NAACP in a meeting with Julian Bond, and when they left, there was several $1 million drafted out of several banks. And the next day, Julian Bond said, he's black, and the money is green. I find it terribly disturbing that these truths, these two brothers can't see what's going on with each other. Jesus says in the book of Matthew chapter 7, starting at verse 3 through 5, that the black man can see how, if you will, unbelievably sycophantic and deceived and deluded and played are white people by Donald Trump. Black man can see that. He can see it in his sleep. Even Ray Charles could see it if he was alive. Black man can see that. There's no problem with that. But he can't see he's just as bad, if not worse, with Obama. He can't see it. He can't see he's just like his white brother. So God Almighty, his name is Jesus, has sent me here to issue this Emancipation Proclamation that it's time, brothers, black man, it's time to give the white man his freedom. Oh, I'm not talking about issuing some civil rights for him or some passage of voting rights or giving him some sort of a citizenship. No, but you putting chains on your mind have put chains on your potential. And you've locked the white man into the 250 years of slavery and the 50 years of Jim Crow. You have put him in a prison, and everything that comes out of your mouth, black man, is your hatred, your indifference, your misunderstanding of what God has said about your position here in America. And it's time now. It's time that you stop following these so-called, if you will, pseudo, if you must, liberators, even Dr. King, who was not really about Christianity. It was about a very successful Buddhist, Hindu, if you will, campaign in India that gave him the whole idea of a nonviolent approach against the British in India, mingled with the writings of a lunatic out of Harvard called Henry David Thoreau, who was another madman, but wrote on civil disobedience. And that was Dr. King's mantra. It wasn't about Jesus with him. And so it's time. James Meredith lost his life in Mississippi, and so did Medgar Evers. And you followed the likes of, Elijah Muhammad, who was born Elijah Poole. And you left Christianity and left Jesus. You said Jesus had blonde hair and blue eyes, and you left him. And you started following Islamic faith, a concoction of Jaku and some other kinds of white man devil philosophy and ideology. You followed that for a while through Elijah Muhammad and then into Malcolm X, who even refuted what Elijah Muhammad said. He went to Mecca and said that white people were Muslims as well and that they weren't devils, and that kind of fizzled and fell apart. And you're now following the likes of an unrepentant drug dealer and snitch, of Al Sharpton, and more recently, a half-white, if you will, man who embraces perverseness of sex and identity, who's never done anything you call Obama, and you're following him. And you put America in prison. You put America on your hate list. You put America on your pulpits as a hate list. And you put white people on your pulpits as hate people. It's time you let the white man go free. It's time you let him go free. It's time you gave him his freedom and bowed down and said, God sent us here. And you may have meant it for evil, like Joseph did in Egypt, but God meant it for good for us to come to America. And we've been hoodwinked, bamboozled by all these leaders, whether it's Nelson Mandela or Dr. King. Well, I know how that burns and cuts, but I have to tell you, the truth is just the truth. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. That's all that it is. Only Jesus is going to set you free, because if Nelson Mandela could have done it, or Barack Obama could have done it, or if Martin King would have done it, you wouldn't be here talking about voting rights and talking about police brutality, defund the police, and forming new organizations led by a group of lesbian women called Black Lives Matter. If you were free, you still wouldn't be fighting for your freedom. The reason why you're not free is because you won't give freedom. Set the white man free. Stop this. Stop all of this. Get down on your knees and say, I'm glad to be an American. You may have meant it, Mr. Japheth, Mr. Shem, you may have meant it for evil, but God, his name is Jesus, meant it for good. Set him free. Emancipate him. Set him free. Let him go. Let him go. Get back into your neighborhoods, into your homes, into your churches, and start praising God. Start seeking the truth. Tell the truth about Africa. Tell the truth. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that if these white people, now they're Japheth, Southern Baptists, evangelicals, Republicans, can you see how crazy Kevin McCartney, Lindsey Graham, and Jim Jordan, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, and all, you see how demented these people are? Isn't it a shame? Given their devotion to Trump, can you see? Is that going to lead them anywhere noble? Is it going to make them free? Or is it put them in prison in their own minds, following a would-be dictator who wants to be, if you will, I suppose, some sort of Superman leader? Black man, it's time to give it up. It's time to emancipate. It's time to emancipate Shem and Japheth. And you're going to feel so much better. Once you set him free, let him get out of prison. Let him get out of prison. Stop marching against him. Stop it. Get in our homes, train our young boys, love our wives, take care of our neighborhoods, work hard, seek Jesus, ask for the blessings of Jesus promised us many, many moons ago. Ask for our ability to return to who we were when we were Hamites in Egypt and Canaanites in what is now known as the Holy Land. And all will be well. I pray that you'll receive this, because there is no other way. Every other way has been tried. Now try Jesus. He sent me here to talk with you. I thank you, black man and white man, black woman and white woman. I thank you for listening to me. I'm James David Manning, everybody. I'm the Lord's servant. Just think what my life would be like if I decided to embrace Black Lives Matter, or embrace Obama, or embrace blackness and defend people like Andrew Brown or Michael Brown or Trayvon Martin. Or if I embraced LGBTQ and said, man, and myself perform marriages. Imagine the wealth that I would have. Imagine how often you see me on the news, and and all the people of the community would be worshiping and saying what a great preacher and great pastor I am. You do know that would happen, right? I want you to consider that I will not and never under any circumstance, nor the threat of death, ever go anywhere near thinking about doing anything as satanic as that. But what I do want to ask you to do is to consider my righteousness. I'm the Lord's servant, and you might want to help me. You might want to say, well, listen, especially if you're at retirement age and your life is settled and your income's, you're pretty much settled for the rest of your days, but you have excess, so you have what you can give, or you can make this ministry. You can further this word to reach the 50,000 righteous men through your giving. Maybe you have stocks, or you have bonds, or you have properties, houses, or land, or jewelry that you could just give to the ministry, cars, automobiles, paintings. I'm just going to give them to that ministry. If Jesus is coming back to Harlem, to 123rd Street, then I want to give my possessions to prepare a place for him. Jesus said he's going to prepare a place for us, but I'm going to give my possessions, my paintings, my gold, my jewelry, my stocks, my land, my property, my houses, to prepare a place for him when he comes back, that the land would truly be holy ground. For James David Manning is his servant. Thank you for doing that. You'll know how to give. The Lord will show you how. But start doing it immediately. Time is of the essence.